Hi, everybody. Welcome. I am Christine Josty of Mill Something Pretty, and I am coming live right to your computer or your tablet, however you watch, or your phone. And I just want to make sure that we are actually filming. Give me a second for see if anyone's jumping on. And for those of you watching the replay, you get to kind of see me kind of ramble on for a few seconds. But thank you for joining. I have, I think, a fun card, a happy card to show you, and I'll explain it in a second. All right, excellent. Nancy's here. We are live and going on. All right, so I'm a little crazy. My house is a mess because we are going on vacation. And so I will not be here, no live next week. My plans were to pre-record actually the project that I'm doing now. I was going to pre-record it for you to watch next week, and I was going to do something else, but that just didn't happen. Hi Kim, hi Debbie, hi Bonita, and Nancy. Awesome. So yeah, I'm a little kind of hectic because I'm going on a Stampin' Up trip, which I'm very excited about. Which I wrote about in my email today. Hopefully you guys are all on my mailing list. If you're not, please join at mailsomethingpretty.com/sign up, and you'll get signed up for my emails. You'll get some really cool projects and information on paper crafting every week. But I explained that I earned the Stampin' Up incentive trip for the first time this year. So I'm very excited, and thank you all for helping me earn that trip. It just took a mere 16 years to earn it, but that's okay. So anyways, I am going to show you my swap card. So a lot of times when we go to Stampin' Up events or card making events, you do card swaps, right? You make this one card, however many, in this case it was 26 cards, all of the same card, and you swap it out and you get a card in return from everybody else. So I was being a little bit of a perfectionist with my card because I will be with other Stampin' Up leaders and some, to me, big names. And so I wanted to kind of put my best foot forward. So I'm going to show you what I made. So let me do that. Okay, so I've said before I love square cards. So I decided to make a square card. And so I decided to kind of make a Father's Day card since Father's Day is next week. Hopefully, there you go, a little closer. There's a little texture with that navy blue, and I'll explain why in a second. And then you open it up, and it's a Father's Day card. I just thought Father's Day is around the corner, and so it would be a good card to have. I had actually made this card a couple weeks ago, and I put it in my email. And this was, I think actually it was the first week of May. I sent this card around just to show you there's some new colors here. So there's, let's see, Boho Blue, Misty Moonlight was a returning color, Night of Navy is my favorite color, Wild Wheat is a new in color, and Pebbled Path is a new in color. And so I didn't have a whole lot of new products at the beginning to showcase, so I kind of played with color. And I did color strips, and I kind of liked the colors, how they kind of put together. And then I made this little anchor card. So I kind of took this and morphed it into this. You can kind of easily see where I went with that. And so I'm going to make this card. All right, so I have my pieces here. I decided to do a Misty Moonlight base, and so some of my pieces are already cut. So a square card ends up being 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. You could certainly make it 4 by 4. You could do a 3 by 3, but it's nice because an 8 1/2 by 11 is 8 1/2, so half of that is 4 1/4. So you just cut it and then you score it in half. So that's kind of how I got my measurements, and I played around with it different pieces, but I decided to do that Misty Moonlight base. I almost did Night of Navy, but you can kind of see that I have a tiny little border here. So this is just under 4 1/4. So it is 4 1/8 square. And so it fits on, hopefully, nice and square. I thought the stripes, this one, I had a little bits in between, but I thought it needed something, and I really do think it kind of ties it all together. And so that's why I added that. And it makes it easier when we put the strips on. I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so my strips are not the navy blue, but these three are each an inch wide by 4. So those are easy measurements, 1 by 4. And again, that's Pebble Path, Boho Blue, and Wild Wheat. So this color, this Wild Wheat color, is a weird color. So I think the key to it is to pair it with a really nice color. So like, I just think that is a beautiful combination. On its own, some people will calling it baby poop, which kind of is that color, which you really don't want to have on your cards. But even these two colors paired together, the Pebble Path and Wild Wheat, are really nice together. So I think with these ink colors, it's all in how you pair them together is going to be the success of the ink colors. And I think I said in, I don't know, today, another day, somewhere, Night of Navy is a great color of tying in all of the new in colors. I think it's a great, they consider a neutral, but it really does tie it all together. Okay, so these strips were all 1 inch wide. And so when I was putting it together, let's see, where's my card? Let's put it there. So I'm going to do the same order I did. I was playing with different measurements. So I do 7/8 to make all of them 7/8. It didn't quite all fit. I was playing with it and I wanted to keep it 4 1/4. And so I decided, that's partly why I also chose this Night of Navy backdrop. So this space is not quite as wide as that, but it's wider than my little strip. But I think it lends itself, and it's not as predictable. So it gives a little something, and then I put texture on it. I use I brought it up here, the cane weave. I think that's called the cane. They should put the names on here. The cane 3D folder. And so it gave a little texture, so it's a little something. I was going to do texture all of them, and it was too busy. So that's just so you know my thought process. So let me put these on here. And so it's a skinny little border. So I did the top one first, and then I did the bottom one. Gives you a little wiggle room this way, because you don't want to put them all and then you run out of room. So then I did this one, and I did a skinny little border. And then I did this next one. I really like these 3 colors together. Hi, Ethel. Thanks for hopping on. We are making this fun square Father's Day card. All right, so make sure that. So now I have that strip. So this is, I think, it's 3/4. Yeah, it's 3/4 wide. But now, in case I did the board is funny, I have some wiggle room, right? And so that's tone on tone. So it's okay if it was smaller because it's still going to match. So the cane, you have 2 sides. I did that side. It really doesn't matter, but they do have different, let's see, can you see? They do have different textures depending on what side that you show. All right. Oops. Make sure. Sometimes that's hard when I don't want to put my head in the camera. Okay. All right. So that's kind of how I did that. And this will just go straight on my, do I have a gum eraser up here? I don't know. We'll find out. I got a little glue on the edge. I know I have one laying around here somewhere. Okay. So again, this is going to have that skinny little border. I just think it makes it crisp. Like, I like that kind of clean and simple look. All right, so now we're going to do some stamping. So as I was trying to decide on my colors, I had the 3 in colors in mind. Hi, Laura. Thanks for hopping on. So I had the boho blue, I had the pebble path, and I had the wild wheat. So I played with different ones. So the boho blue is nice, but then there's a lot of blue with my anchor, which is okay, but that I liked. And then I love pebble path. I really like the pebble path, but then I didn't want the anchor to be the same. So I did this anchor with the wild wheat, opposite of what I did with that one. And so that was okay too. I forget why there was a reason why I actually chose this one too. I think just to have a really pop. So I decided to use the wild wheat as the ink color. And so I had pre-done all of my anchors, cut them all out, started assembling, right? Because I was making 26 of these. And I realized I had already stamped and cut all of these. I'm like, oh no, I did the matching colors. So I wanted opposite colors. So you will see these again for some other project because I wanted, the chain kind of looks better too with the pebble path marker because it's a little bit more metallic. So that's kind of why I was playing with the colors. So let's go ahead and I actually already have one. Oh, that one's not good. That one's messed up. So the stamp set, I really like this stamp set. I used is called, oh, I didn't bring, oh, hold on. Okay, I'm good. Kindest expressions. So I used this Oh Happy Day. I liked how it was all big words. And they actually, there's different dies that go with different, it doesn't come with any dies, but a lot of dies fit it. So what I decided to use was, here they are, these new nested essentials pack. So there's different shapes. So this is the one that I'm going to use that fit right on there. But look at this one. Look at this fun shape. This fits really nice on the thanks. Actually, I think it's the next size. The thanks so much fills that up really nicely. And then you can have a border. And then just put a pattern paper and then your card's done. You can have a really simple card. But those, you're going to see me use these a bunch because I like the dies. And I like these. I love this shape, and I always hated cutting them with my scissors because they were never quite even. All right, so we're going to stamp this. And I'm just going to use this block. I haven't even finished mounting my stamps. I did trim this one. I think I've showed you guys before to trim your stamps just because there was a lot of red rubber. You can kind of see how I got that little mark that I don't want. So I just trimmed my stamps. Oh, look at ink, 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 ink. Nancy, that was for you. All right. So I'm just going to stamp that. Nice impression. I just think, oh, happy day is just a fun saying for lots of reasons. And then while I have my paper here, I'm going to show you. Maybe. Oh, here it is. This is the whole point of the card. The stamp. So I have my Stampin' Right marker. Oh, good, Nancy. I'm glad I made you laugh out loud because I've been doing that a lot today. I've been messing up everything. So when I did all of these, oops, I made a mistake and did the wrong color. So you're going to see those on another project. So I'm going to use these two colors. So the Pebble Path and the Night of Navy. So this is an older Night of Navy marker and they've redesigned them. So let's see if we can kind of see the differences. They are the same length, however, you can see that the black part on the new design, and all of the colors now in the catalog have this new design. The shaft is a little bit longer, which means there's a little bit more ink in there. So the cap's a little bit smaller. And don't forget they have these, the thick stripe goes with the brush tip, and the thinner stripe goes with the fine point tip, which is a 0.5 millimeter. Let's see, there's a couple differences. The Night of Navy has the brush tip has a it probably doesn't even look at the blue or a colored of whatever color it is has that tip, whereas the new marker, it's black. So if you used to rely on the color there, I'm sorry, but it's black now. The other thing is these two tips, they look the same. If you have a really fine eye, they're slightly different. Let's see. But they did redesign both the tips and the new one, and so this is a little sturdier, and so it won't get as frayed or anything. So it's a little stronger. And then just put the caps on. On this one, you really can see the difference. The old tip was this one, where for me, the ink would always go dry and they wouldn't really write that well, so I hardly ever used it. But hopefully you can see they redesigned the new tip, and so it's a much better tip. You can write with it a whole bunch. It's just, I don't know if you can see it, but anyways, they're redesigned. They're much, much, much better. So that's kind of the redesigns of them. All right, so what I'm going to do is color directly on my stamp. This technique works best on, I think, red rubber versus the photopolymer. You can do it on the photopolymer, but I think you get a better inking with the red rubber. If you do the photopolymer, sometimes what I do is I color it, I ink it, and then I do it again, and that seems to help. So on this stamp, you can kind of see there's a chain that's going on the top. It goes behind the bar of the anchor, and then then it goes in front of. So you can kind of see, and I didn't wash it because I used it so much just because it's using the same ink, so you can kind of see. But what I'm going to do is just take my brush tip and color directly on my stamp here. Now I need to put it down. I love this technique. This is one of the first ones that I learned, but it's such a good one. It only works with the Stampin' Up markers. It does not work with the blends markers. Oops, wrong tip. Let me just color directly on. You actually can do it with Crayola markers, not Sharpie markers. So you need a water-based marker to do this technique. But the Stampin' Rates are kind of designed for this, so has good color saturation. The tip is great for this. You just color directly on it. And I'm going to huff on it or blow on it, and so the moisture from my breath is going to re-moisten if any of it dried. And then I'm going to stamp. And this is a, I think it's a distinctive. I don't know if it's, I think it's distinctive. It's not really labeled distinctive, which just means that it has a lot of detail and it's almost like photographic in there, but that's where my anchor is. All right, let me close this up for a second. I'm going to reuse that a second. I'm going to use that die. I'm going to use my anchor die. And that was from, I don't know if I told you, The Beauty of the Deep. That was actually the first stamp set from the catalog I got, from this new catalog. And it has dies that go with it. It's hard to see, but there's dies that go with that set. Okay, I'm going to use my mini machine, my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine to cut up my paper. Let's see. Hopefully, oh, my paper might be a little wide, but that's all right. So this thing is so cute. All right. So what I did, I've done this, I don't know if it was on a live or a video or a post. I wrote, so this is what you get with a mini machine. You get your 2 clear plates, and then you get these 3 plates. And I took a paint marker because the diagrams on them, some of them don't quite line up exactly how they work. So I wrote them on the front and the back. So I know, so I'm going to be using my die cut. So die cutting. So I just put it as clear as day. Die cutting this plus the 2 clear is what I'm going to use. So I don't have to think, which is helpful when I'm doing a live. Now my paper is too wide, and that's okay. So I'm going to cut it. All right, so I'm going to line this up. Actually, I'm going to do it this way. And if I mess up, I do have an extra. All right, so that's lined up there. Put the clear on top. Oop. Can't do it while I'm holding it. Look at how slippery they are. Now I could take washi tape and put it down if I had any up here, and I don't. Put it through. The labeling of these plates, and it took me a little bit to figure out which ones work with, or it's gold, because before it was you had to kind of shift it and align it, and it's just so much easier now that I know that for me, because each one's slightly different, that works, so I don't have to worry. All right, so I'm going to line this up, and this is easy to line up, this anchor piece, just right there. They're so slippery next to each other, though. Hold it tight. All right. That behind me. Presto. Okay, so we have, I just think it's beautiful. It comes out nice and crisp and clean and pretty. Okay, so now I have my pieces. Here's my card base. We'll do the inside in a second. Here's my card. So what I did is I took linen thread, which is something else that I love using, and I cut, I don't know, it's probably at least 12 inches. I put two ends together, and then there's a hole there, so I'm going to put them both through the hole. Then I'm going to loop the two ends through this loop here. It kind of attaches, oh, it might be hard to see, but it attaches just like that. And then I'm going to tie a knot. Two ends together and just tie a knot like that. So next what I'm going to do, and this is how I made all 26 of them. I kind of did them all in this order. I'm going to put a little glue on the back of that side of the anchor and just that tip. And I'm just going to put it right there and let that dry for a second. I would normally let it dry a little longer. Flip it over. I'm going to use my dimensionals. I'm going to put it right on the over the edge and the anchor. And then on each of the corners. Take those off. And before I place it on my card base, I'm going to take this string and twist it a little bit so it's kind of curly. And then depending on how long it is, now this one's pretty long, I'm going to have this go over the edge like that, and I'm just going to have it actually touch the dimensional so it's not going to move, so it's kind of stuck there. This piece I'm going to over this corner, and then I'm going to put it down, and then it just gives this 3D effect, right? Because the anchors go down with the chain. There's just a little 3D effect. So I did that. Look, I have all of my swaps here. All my swaps here. So they're all, some of them were a little short. And then, let's see if I can find a short one. I tried to measure them all the same, but some of them came out a little, they're all a little bit different. So if they're a little short, then I didn't have it go over the edge. I just had it come up here. All right, and so let's do the inside. So this is the inside. So it's just easy stamping. So I have a 4x4 piece of white. And put that back on a block. Oh, we'll use this one. So this, wishing you a happy Father's Day. So this I used on my original piece. Let's see. This is my inspiration card, the first one I made. So wishing you happy Father's Day. And how I was originally going to do this for all of them, and then I decided not to. So what I did is I used my marker and I colored the top line, and then I stamped it, and then I washed it, and then I colored fathers, and then I stamped it, and then I washed it, and then I did day, and then I did day under father. So that's how I got that. It's the same stamp, but you can see that would have taken a long time. So I decided not to do that. So I'm going to stamp that, wishing you happy Father's Day, with the wild wheat. And then what I did is I took 2 of the fish from the Same Beauty of the Deep stamp set. So there's the anchor, 2 fish. I almost put seaweed in it, but I thought since it's a smaller card, there would not be enough room. So I did my Knight of Navy, and I did trim some of the red rubber around my, I guess, I don't know if it's an angelfish or whatever fish it is. I put that in the corner. Oh, I was actually going to show you a tip. I forgot one thing. So a lot of times when you get your new ink pads, they're wet. They're really wet. And so what I did was, this one you can kind of see it blurred a little bit. I saved like old gift cards. You can use a bone folder. You can even see I've done that, or a ruler. But if it's too wet, just press it in there and move the ink out of the wet, move it to the side a little bit. And it gets some of that wetness away. So then, especially with these distinctive or the detailed stamps, you can get, oh, see, that one was a little bit light. Look at, I probably moved it too much. That one's a little light. So then I would just move it back. Just put it back in there. But anyways, that's if it's too wet, if sometimes when you stamp and it gets bleed or runs or something, just move some of the ink out of the way, and that will help. We'll just go put it on here, and then our card is done. And I just finished all 26 of mine today. So I will bring them with me, and I'll see how the swap goes. But I think one goes to Stampin' Up directly for the display board. And then I think someone just kind of distributes them. So I'll get 25 back from other demonstrators, and I'll share them with you. I'm very excited to share them with you. And so I might do that on the live of when I come back, because I don't know if I'll have a project to do. So I might just be a share and tell. And I can show you the different swaps I got, and we can talk about the techniques or color combinations or whatever the cards are going to be. We can chat about that. So that's probably what I'll do. So anyways, I wanted to share with you the swap that I did. Oh, thank you, Nancy. I hope the card's a big hit. It kind of goes along with the cruise, right? With the anchor and, I don't know. But I like the colors. I'm happy with it. So that's all that matters. So I didn't write down. So in my email today, and I'll send it out a reminder. I'm going to have some pre-scheduled emails. So don't worry, I won't be like totally missing. I'll have some pre-scheduled posts. But I encourage you to use the Very Important Paper Crafters website, or I should say it's not a website, the Very Important Paper Crafters Facebook page, to talk with each other, to ask each other questions, to post projects, all that kind of stuff. I will have, I think, sparse internet. So I will kind of not be responding probably to anything till I get back. I won't be posting any pictures till I get back. I know some demonstrators post pictures all throughout. I'm going to save that to the end. Use that page to kind of talk with each other and ask each other questions and that kind of stuff. Thank you, Val. I thought it was good for a cruise. In my email, I sent out two thank you gifts. One was a link to a class as a thank you for helping me earn this trip. And the other one, which is for everybody, is if you place an order while I'm gone, and I don't have the host code with me at the moment, but I will post it everywhere. I'll send you some festive, what are they called? Festive gems, like Christmas gems, red, green, silver, gold, as a thank you for helping me, because I certainly couldn't have done this on my own. So I just wanted to kind of send you guys a thank you for helping me along. So that's what I have. I have not packed. My house is a disaster, but it will all get done. So thank you very much for helping me with my Stampin' Up! Journey, for being part of my journey. and for following me and watch my videos and all that kind of stuff, because I really appreciate you. And if you guys weren't here, I wouldn't do what I do. So thank you. I will see you guys in 2 weeks. But I'm around tomorrow. If you need to email me or contact me, I will respond to emails tomorrow. And after that, it won't be till after like the 29th. So thank you. Have a wonderful week off from me. But definitely create and post, because I want to see what you guys are up to when I get back. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.